Welcome to Musings of a Watch Collector, a carefully curated channel of all my timepieces. I will be showcasing each piece in detail to understand its historical and cultural significance. Let me take you on a horological journey that covers watchmakers from around the world, both past and present. So join me on my meanderings, Musings of a Watch Collector. Hi everyone, I'm Michael and welcome back to another episode of Musings of a Watch Collector. I certainly hope that you're all doing well and thank you for tuning in. This is the first in a series of episodes that will look at Russian watches. Yes, those watches made in the USSR. I've delved into Swiss, Japanese and American watchmakers. However, Russian watchmakers can be a little underappreciated and albeit a bit unknown in the watch community. So let's begin by looking at one of the oldest Russian watchmakers. Raketa is probably one of the most well-known Russian watchmakers and is still around today, with a rich horological history spanning 300 years. The site of the Riketa factory in St. Petersburg was first established by Tsar Peter the Great in 1721 as a workshop for stones and gems. In 1816, it became officially known as the Imperial Lapidary Factory of Peterhof. In the first quarter of the 20th century, the factory was established and producing mainly masonry and stone slabs for Lenin's mausoleum. During the Second World War and the Battle of Leningrad, at this point the city of St. Petersburg was renamed to Leningrad. The factory was destroyed after protracted fighting between the German Wehrmacht and the Red Army, which lasted for more than 2 years from 1941. Joseph Stalin was leader of the USSR from 1924 to 1953. He was paranoid of the influence of Swiss and American-made watches would have on his citizens, and so in 1930 finalized the purchase of two bankrupt American watchmakers, the Duber-Hamden Watch Company and the Ansonia Clock Company. The purchase involved relocating all of the equipment, intellectual property, machinery and even staff from the United States to Moscow, where the first state watch factory was established. Now this was a separate factory from the one located in St. Petersburg or Leningrad, but it can be rightly assumed that once it was established in Moscow, the equipment was replicated for the other factory in St. Petersburg, Leningrad. To commemorate the war effort and to ensure citizens would only be tempted to purchase locally made watches, Stalin had commissioned a new watch brand named Pobita, which in Russian translates to victory, which were very popular. In 1954, the factory was renamed the Peterhof Watch Factory. And then in 1961, we saw the emergence of the very popular brand Raketa, which in Russian means rocket. Aptly named in that year to commemorate the first man in space, cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who at the time wore a Pobita Stomansky. This watch will be covered in another episode. Now you can probably tell that Russian watch history can be quite confusing with different brands, factories and names of cities constantly changing. In the 1970s and 1980s, the USSR saw much success in the export of their watches and surpassed even the Swiss watchmakers in their exports in terms of production. However, in 1991, the collapse of the USSR also saw the collapse of Riketa. However, the factory was restored by a lawyer who of 10 years, David Henderson Stewart, with a team of investors decided to buy the Raketa factory and restore it in the mid-2000s. The factory still exists today in the same site that it did in 1721, and Raketa released their first line of watches in 2012, with a special mention of previous models which included the Raketa Kopernic. This was my first Russian watch I acquired for my collection. And in my hunt for space watches, I was immediately intrigued by its peculiar design. Russian watches, by design, are usually utilitarian. But even more, what fascinated me was its rich history, being the oldest Russian watchmaker, which, in terms of history, surpassed even some of the well-established Swiss watchmakers. The Raketa Kopernic that I purchased is an exceptionally special one. Not only is it new old stock, but its 2069 manual wind movement is in excellent condition. It is also my birth year and birth month watch, even more exciting as it comes with its original papers from the Riketa factory with the date stamp 25th of April 1986. Well, that's a wrap in the first of a series of episodes on Russian watchmaking and Russian watches in my collection. I certainly hope you've enjoyed the episode. I certainly enjoyed joining the dots when reviewing and studying Russian watchmaking history. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll also leave the links to my official Instagram and website below. Once again, I'm Michael, signing off for Musings of a Watch Collector. Take care and I'll see you next time.